We spend at least 8 hours a day at work as employees, where we come into contact with a number of risk factors for health. With occupational safety, precautions are put in place to eliminate or reduce risk. As a result, employees feel physically, socially, and psychologically secure in their workplaces, leading to working more effectively and having a sense of community within the company. Occupational safety is a series of actions to be made to assess, evaluate, and remove or prevent the risk associated with workplace dangers as well as hazards themselves. The goal of occupational safety is to stop situations that could threaten employees while they are working. Work stress, on the other hand, is described as a collection of negative outside influences brought on by psychological, physiological, or social situations at work. When people experience excessive pressure and demands at work, they typically react negatively. It is a contradiction between a person's abilities and the demands of the organization. Workplace stress can induce a fall in performance, dissatisfaction, motivation, and commitment, as well as an increase in absenteeism and quit intentions. The University of Michigan Institute for Social Research established a model of occupational stress and health that serves as a foundation to understand the aspects and connections relating to work and health. According to this concept, workplace stress is viewed as a dynamic process in which stressors perceive stress, short-term responses to stress, and enduring health outcomes are all interconnected and have an impact on long-term health outcomes. Psychological environmental conditions are regarded too as stressors if they put employees under pressure and cause physiological adaptation response because they are likely seen to be damaging, threatening, or bothersome. Perceived stress mean that stress does not always have negative impacts. Instead, how they affect people depends in part on how much stress they themselves find the stressor to be. Short-term responses to stress involve physiological, meaning increase in blood pressure, psychological, meaning being tense, and behavioral changes like alcohol use or exercise. When short-term reactions and perceived stress persist over time, they may have an impact on long-term health outcomes, including heart disease, anxiety disorders, or alcoholism. A variety of modifying factors may have direct impact on any of these components or their relationships to one another. Because of the interaction of these factors, no objective stressor is likely to have the same effect on everyone who is exposed to it. Rather, individuals or situational factors influence how an individual experiences the stress process.
Stress is about reactions people have to the situations they face. These reactions are not the same from person to person, or it's a very personal thing. There are two kinds of stress. It's positive stress and the negative stress. Some stress is expected and can be a positive force in our lives. These stress are called the positive stress or what is called eustress. It is often what provides us with the motivation to meet our daily challenges or our end goal. It is short term and perceived within our coping abilities, or meaning it is considered positive if you were able to cope with its stress. It improves our performance. This type of stress response is what helps you rise to a challenge and meet your goals such as deadlines. On the other hand, negative stress, or what we call distress, causes anxiety or concerns. It can be short term or long term and can be perceived as outside our coping abilities. The feeling of distress usually increases when a person believes the demands of a situation are greater than their ability to deal with it, thus resulting in poor performance. Some stress may prevent them from being productive. In some cases, people avoid dealing with the problem entirely, which may make the situation worse and increase stress to them and others around them. When under a lot of stress, um, some may find it hard to concentrate or make decisions and feel confident about their work. Negative stress can also lead to physical and mental problems. Stress can also have a long term impact on physical health. Headaches and fatigue are common symptoms of being under stress. People are also more likely to get sick or experience a decline in their health. For mental problems, it can lead to anxiety or depression and burnout. So, Canadian Center for Occupational Health and Safety defined workplace stress as the physical and emotional responses that can happen when there is a conflict between job demands on the employee and the amount of control an employee has over meeting those demands. So every worker is an individual or person with their professional and personal lives bringing in different factors that may influence their reactions to conditions in the workplace. So, Canadian Center for Occupational Health and Safety has categorized some of these job stressors in their examples. First category is task design. The first example is the workload. It can either be overload or underload. So high workload makes people rushed, under pressure, and overwhelmed, while underload or insufficient workloads make people feel that their skills are being underused and feel less secure in their job areas. Next is shift work. So most shift workers experience unique challenges in their workplace. Um, uh, that lead to increased work-related stress. Next is abilities to not match job demands. Lack of training in our preparation can either be technical or social. It can be very stressful because you never know if you're doing the right thing or not. And then lack of autonomy or the inability to make your own decisions about your own job. Next category is the relationships at work. Or next is a lack of support from supervisors or coworkers. Threats to personal safety such as violence, harassment, bullying that is also accompanied with prejudice and discrimination. So discrimination results in heightened vigilance and changes in behavior that can trigger stress responses. The last one is the lack of systems that are available to report or deal with unacceptable behavior because you feel like you are not protected by the policies in the workplace. Next category is organizational structure or management style. The poor communication or information flow, the little recognition for good job performance also leads to stress, as unrecognized employees don't feel appreciated. Lack of perceived fairness, also when people frequently experience unfair treatment, it can contribute to increased stress. Not engaging employees when undergoing organizational change. So change itself is stressful and even more when you're not involved in the process. Then lastly, the lack of support from organizations, such as lack of family-friendly policies and employee assistance programs. Next category is role in the organization. So there is role or responsibility conflicts and or you have too many roles or conflicting job demands. And then next is uncertain job expectations or role ambiguity. Lastly is the workplace conditions. So there are exposure to unpleasant conditions and hazards that lead to increased stress. The next slide will tackle the role of HR in reducing stress or stress management.
Hello Professor, I am Sandeep Kaur. Here I am going to discuss role of HR in reducing stress in the workplace. First is developing policies to promote work-life balance. The role of HR in reducing stress in the workplace is to develop policies that promote work-life balance such as receiving perks from HR like subsidies, gym membership, massage, and allow permission to use their own mobile device during break time makes them happier and which leads productivity to the organization. Next, in addition to this, flexibility, employee health program, and a solid work-life balance culture can achieve objective. Flexibility includes allow offer them to flexible working hours or remote work if possible, so that they can manage their time with their families along with their work. Employee help programs such as financial insurance planning helps them to relieve their stress and makes them more productivity at the workplace. HR can also help stressed employees by educating them on stress management and giving resources by such as providing workshop on stress management and put arrange activities which helps them to reduce stress, help the employees to be more productive and achieve their goals. Second is ensuring staff have enough resources and support, which means HR staff provide information regarding employee insurance, leave of absenteeism, employee assistance program, and workers' compensation benefits. Provide access to training and development opportunities so that technical and soft skills are optimized for their functioning. It also allows managers to identify and develop skills which are required for their workforce. Ensure that there is an adequate staffing levels, which means adequate and safe level of staffing in healthcare to work effectively and administer work together productively and efficiently. Provide support to employees who are struggling with stress by promoting mental health awareness in the workplace and organize social organized groups where employees meet regularly and discuss their problems. Provide supports to managers in ensuring that they are aware of the resources available to them. If HR provides support to manager, they will definitely work as effectively and manage their team also effectively and leads to productivity. Provide training on how to manage stress by organized workshops on the stress management and creating awareness among stress in the employees leads to productivity in the organization. In a nutshell, providing a safe and healthy workplace environment is a critical function of human resource management. Thank you.